My name is Rebecca, and I never thought my life would unravel in such an unexpected way. For years, I had believed my marriage to David was stable, maybe not perfect, but built on trust and loyalty. We had our routines, our ups and downs, and like most couples, we sometimes got lost in the shuffle of daily responsibilities. But nothing could have prepared me for the secret that would surface during a seemingly ordinary day, in the most unlikely of circumstances, while I was giving my step-nephew, Jason, a simple back massage. The whole ordeal began in such a casual, innocent manner that even now, when I look back, I find it unbelievable how something so small became the catalyst for my marriage's destruction. Jason was David's sister's son. He had just turned 20, and he often visited our home during weekends when his college schedule allowed. I always welcomed him warmly. He was like the younger brother I never had. Over the years, he became comfortable enough with me to treat our home like his second one. He'd flop onto the couch, raid the fridge, or sit in the kitchen chatting with me while I cooked. That particular afternoon was warm and lazy. The house smelled of roasted chicken and lemon herbs, and the sunlight filtered in through the blinds, streaking the living room with golden rays. David wasn't home. He had gone on one of his business trips, or so he claimed. Jason had come over earlier than expected, complaining of muscle soreness after his basketball practice. "Aunt Rebecca, my shoulders are killing me," he groaned, half laughing, half serious as he slumped into a chair. I chuckled, shaking my head. "You're too young to be complaining like an old man. Coach made us do double drills," he replied, massaging his own shoulder awkwardly. "I can barely lift my arm." I wasn't a professional masseuse, but over the years, I had helped David with his backaches. Without thinking much of it, I told Jason to sit still. "Let me try to help. Just a quick massage, it'll loosen you up." What followed was harmless enough. I placed my hands on his shoulders and worked out the tightness in his muscles. He winced, then sighed in relief. "Wow, Aunt Rebecca, you've got strong hands. Better than the massage chairs at the gym." I laughed softly, amused by his exaggeration. But as I continued, I noticed Jason had gone quiet. His posture shifted, and his expression grew distant, almost conflicted. I assumed he was just tired, but then he muttered something under his breath that froze me. "I didn't think I'd ever be the one to tell you this," he whispered. I paused. "Tell me what?" Jason sat upright abruptly, his face pale. He hesitated, looking at me as if he was about to reveal something dangerous. "I shouldn't say anything. It's not my place." I frowned, my hands still resting lightly on his shoulders. "Jason, you can't just stop there. What's going on?" His eyes darted around the room before finally locking with mine. "Uncle David isn't who you think he is. I shouldn't know this, but I do, and keeping it from you feels wrong." I felt a chill crawl down my spine. My heart began to race. "What do you mean?" Jason swallowed hard. "I saw him. With someone else. More than once." My hands fell from his shoulders. My knees felt weak, and I sat back, stunned. "What are you talking about? Are you sure?" He nodded, guilt written all over his young face. "I didn't want to get involved, but a few weeks ago, I was out with friends near the shopping district. I saw Uncle David at a cafe. He wasn't alone. He was with a woman, holding her hand. They weren't acting like co-workers. They looked close." The words crashed into me like a storm. My ears rang, and for a moment, the room seemed to spin. I had always trusted David implicitly. The thought of him being with another woman felt impossible, absurd even. But Jason's expression carried no trace of mischief or lies. He looked torn, as though he had carried this secret and it had been eating him alive. I forced myself to breathe, gripping the armrest of the couch. "Jason, you might have misunderstood. Maybe it was just a client or—" "It wasn't," he interrupted firmly. "I wish it was. But I saw them again. Not just once. At a hotel parking lot. And it wasn't just hand-holding that time." My chest tightened, and tears stung my eyes. My hands trembled uncontrollably. Why didn't you tell me sooner?" "Because I didn't want to hurt you," Jason admitted, his voice breaking. "But today, sitting here, Watching you help me like you always do, I realized you don't deserve to be kept in the dark. You deserve the truth, even if it's painful. At that moment, my entire world cracked. My marriage, the man I had trusted for over a decade, the life we had built together, it all felt like a fragile illusion. That night, after Jason left, I paced the house in silence. Every corner of our home, every photograph on the walls, suddenly felt foreign, like props in a play I no longer understood. I replayed Jason's words over and over in my mind. When David returned 2 days later, I couldn't bring myself to confront him right away. I studied him instead. His smile looked forced. His phone was always within reach. He claimed exhaustion from travel, but his eyes held a guilt I had never noticed before. The confrontation, when it finally happened, was explosive. "David," I said one evening, my voice steady despite the storm inside me, "are you seeing someone else?" He froze. His fork clattered onto the plate. For a long moment, he said nothing, but his silence was the answer I dreaded. When he finally spoke, his words were hollow. "Rebecca, it's complicated." Complicated. That word shattered me more than a direct confession. There was no complication in fidelity. You were either loyal or you weren't. I broke down, my tears unstoppable. I demanded the truth, and piece by piece, it came out. He had been seeing another woman for nearly a year. He claimed it started as business, then feelings got involved. He swore he still loved me, that he never intended to leave me. But the damage was irreversible. Jason's reluctant confession had ripped away the blindfold I hadn't realized I was wearing. And once the truth was out, I could never unhear it. The weeks that followed were brutal. My trust was gone. Every glance, every touch from David felt tainted. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't eat. And yet, through the pain, I found strength in an unexpected place: Jason. He checked in on me, sent me messages, sometimes stopped by just to make sure I wasn't alone. His compassion reminded me that honesty, even when it hurt, was a form of love. Without his courage, I might have lived in ignorance, clinging to a false sense of security. Eventually, I made the hardest decision of my life. I filed for divorce. It wasn't easy. My family was divided. Some thought I should forgive, others urged me to move on. But deep down, I knew a marriage without trust is no marriage at all. David begged, pleaded, promised to change. But his words felt empty, rehearsed. The bond we once had was broken beyond repair. As for Jason, his role in this story remains bittersweet. He never meant to destroy my marriage, but his honesty saved me from living a lie. I'll always be grateful for his courage, even though it came during something as ordinary as a simple massage. Looking back, I realize life has a way of revealing truths when we least expect them. Sometimes, the most innocent moments, like helping a loved one ease sore muscles, can uncover secrets powerful enough to change everything.